笑顔の魔法 bending space and time. A whole new reality. A whole new reality. Take me Let's go now, let's go now, let's go now, let's go now. Welcome to the unknown. A whole new reality. A whole new reality. Take me to The best just got better. Come on, just check me out. Whoa. Hey, gonna show you something new now, baby. It's better than it ever was. Hey, gonna show you something new now, baby. We got something that you're gonna love. Gonna show you something new now, baby. It's better than it ever was.
Hello. Hello, and welcome to Unreal Fest Seattle. So this is our big event for all developers who do cool stuff with Epic's tools and technology. It's for people using Unreal Engine for games, Unreal Engine for enterprise. It's for Fortnite creators and partners using the Epic Games Store, the Epic Online Services Suite, and soon to be released digital content marketplace, Fab. So we're all here to help you to build better content and to build it more economically. Now, last year's Unreal Fest began with some sad news. The company had to get its finances in order, and we just had some major layoffs. And we spent the last year rebuilding and also really executing solidly on all fronts. I'm happy to tell you now that the company is financially sound, and that Fortnite and Epic Games Store have hit new records in concurrency and success. Fortnite hit 110 million monthly active users last holiday, an all-time peak. And this is all happening in the context of a game business that's rapidly changing in a way that's we've only seen a few times in our lifetimes as game developers. It's a generational change. And one of the manifestations we're seeing right now is a lot of games are released with high budgets, and they're not selling nearly as well as expected, whereas other games are going incredibly strong. And what we're seeing, the real trend here, is that players are gravitating towards the really big games where they can play with more of their friends. And so this is a manifestation of Metcalfe's law. Metcalfe's law is the idea that the value of a network or a game or a social experience grows in proportion to the number of your friends that you can connect to. And in the world of gaming, that means you and your friends getting together and playing games, chatting by voice, attending concerts, and doing all other kinds of cool virtual things online. And this trend, some people will call it the metaverse, and we're not all in agreement on what this means. You know, some people, when they hear the word metaverse, they think of what Facebook is doing with VR and now AR. Some people use the metaverse to describe everything they don't like about the current Fortnite season. But you know, when you look at what's happening in the world of Fortnite, it's new and it's exciting and it's something that's never happened at this scale in the history of entertainment, with an original story that's evolving, with original content, and also all of the world's brands participating and dropping in, with musicians reaching users, Disney and Star Wars and others, all coming together to create a world-class entertainment experience that's ever evolving and live. And that's really what we think that the future of gaming is about. And Epic's primary goal for this decade is to help all developers achieve what we've achieved. And our strategy for doing this over time is to share everything we've built with you so that you can do these same things. And this is not just a message to game developers, it's also a message to the entire real-time 3D content industry. Everybody who's doing cool stuff with real-time 3D has an opportunity here. There's film and television, which is now using Unreal Engine for virtual production on a massive scale. There's architecture firms, there's automotive companies, there's fashion, there's music, and there's gaming, both using Unreal Engine internally for their industrial enterprise use, but also reaching customers through the world of Fortnite and other Unreal Engine games. And the common thread linking all of this is that we all aim to reach the world with our stuff, and we're all using the same tools to make our stuff. And this is coming together in an unprecedented scale. I think Fortnite is just one demonstration. Other games are doing similar things, but as this is adopted more widely by the entire world, we think it's a growth opportunity for everybody and for a way out of the game industry's current malaise. And so I wanted to back up and talk about the long term, what Epic is going to be doing for the rest of this decade on the road from where we are today to Unreal Engine 6. And if you look around at everything that's happening, even here at Unreal Fest, you can see there are clearly two distinct threads of development going on. First of all, there's Unreal Engine 5 for high-end game development, targeting consoles and mobile and PCs, bringing ever more features and performance and capabilities to build world-class photorealistic and stylized experiences of all sorts. And there's a new thread of development with the Unreal Editor for Fortnite, which is easier to use and aspires to build a new standards-worthy framework for game development, including the Verse scripting language, very easy to use gameplay programming APIs that work in Fortnite now and will work in the broader context of Unreal Engine in the future, including the scene graph, which gives programmers access to everything that's happening in the entire simulation. And over the next few years, we're going to be bringing these two threads of development together, bringing together the best of Unreal Editor for Fortnite and its ease of use and pioneering, and the best of Unreal Engine 5 and even more high-end features that we build over time to bring Unreal Engine 6. And the aim here is to create new foundations for gameplay programming that are easier and also way more scalable, to create new foundations for networking, enabling scaling to huge simulations across entire data centers. And our other major aim for this is to bring together the different and disparate threads of development that developers face when they're making a decision about how to build a product. Do you build a standalone mobile game, a PC game, a console game, a game in Fortnite, a game in Roblox? We want to enable everybody to build a game once and then choose one or all to ship it standalone in the app stores on all platforms, to ship it into Fortnite live, and to ship it even into other Unreal Engine 6 games which participate in this approach for the future. And we're looking at this not only as an Unreal effort, but as an industry-wide effort. And we're participating in standards bodies like the Metaverse Standards Forum and Kronos Group to define standards applicable to all engines and all digital content creation tools. The ultimate aim of this effort is to achieve technical interoperability between games and game engines of all sorts, and to achieve economic interoperability in an open system so that game developers can easily build experiences standalone or in Fortnite or anywhere in which purchases in one place are honored in other places. And the entire economy is an open economy where everybody can participate. Now, you've heard a lot over the last year about the Disney partnership. Epic and Disney are working together to build a new Disney ecosystem that is Disney's, but is also fully connected to Fortnite, such that anything you get in one place can work in the other place, and your experiences aren't disconnected. You can have the same friends, the same items, and the same social experience as you go. And this partnership is just the first step towards an open system in which we and all companies and creators can participate together in the future as peers. And one really important aspect to this effort is Epic's fight to open mobile platforms to competition. Because for a vibrant digital ecosystem to exist in the future, we need fair competition and an end to these monopoly rent collectors. You know, Apple and Google have a totally broken vision for the world, which is to limit what developers can do, to impose ever more restrictions, to prevent things like the metaverse from happening, or to tax it to the point where they're extracting all of the profit from it. And we're at a point now where game development is expensive, it's low margin, and game companies are suffering. Apple and Google make way more profit from most games than the developers make themselves, while contributing nothing back. And this has to change. Yes. But if we also look back to our roots, I grew up programming an Apple II computer that followed the Steve Wozniak vision for Apple, not the modern bleak vision of Apple. It was an open platform. You turn your computer on, you get a basic prompt, you can start typing code right there and there, and everybody becomes a programmer. You can share the things you build with your friends. You don't have to ask any corporation's permission. And it just highlights that open platforms are more fun. There's just way more innovation on Windows and and Mac and Linux, where developers can do whatever they want, unconstrained by these gatekeepers. There's way more opportunity, and there's way more enthusiasm for what can happen among users and among developers themselves. So among the fights we've taken on here, we have Epic versus Apple, a major court case that is still an ongoing fight. We're still fighting to open up payments so that developers can process payments without Apple mediation and without Apple junk fees. We had a massive victory in Epic versus Google at the end of last year, in which a jury found against Google on all counts. We saw a major change in the European Union, where Europe passed the Digital Markets Act. It came into effect, and now Fortnite has returned to iOS, but only in Europe, because the other countries haven't gotten around to fixing their laws to enable its opening up. But relief is on the way. The UK and Japan have passed new laws, and there's major legislation in many major developing countries all around the world. And the world is changing for the better. Though there's much more to do, we're going to keep fighting on until there's an ultimate victory. Thank you for the thanks. And now we're trying to use all of our capabilities in order to eventually bring victory on this. And one of the cool capabilities we have in this fight is the Epic Games Store. And I'd like to invite Steve Allison on stage to talk about the cool things we're doing with Epic Games Store now. Thank you.
Oh my God. Wow. Hi, everybody. Thank you, Tim. Hi, I'm Steve Allison, and I'm the general manager for the Epic Games Store. The Epic Games Store is expanding to become a multi-platform app store across PC, Mac, iOS, and Android. And on August 16th, we took the first step, launching on Android worldwide and on iOS in the European Union, thanks to the Digital Markets Act. We plan to expand our iOS footprint into the UK and Japan later in 2025. We launched this early version of the Epic Games Store on mobile with just our games, Rocket League Sideswipe, Fall Guys, and the return of Fortnite to mobile. And we want to get as many players as possible to install the Epic Games Store on mobile before launching the first wave of games from third-party developers this holiday. In September, the Epic Games Store set a new record for monthly active users, hitting 70 million, and we are on track to set a new all-time record for peak monthly active users in Q4 during this upcoming holiday season. And our team has been working tirelessly to bring key mobile titles to the store, and we're excited to give you a sneak peek at one and Studio Wildcard. Developed by Grove Street Games, Arc Ultimate Home Edition puts all the content from the full PC and console mobile experience in the palm of your hand, including all the DLC. And we're thrilled to announce Arc Ultimate Mobile Edition is coming later this year to the Epic Games Store on Android, worldwide, and on iOS in the EU. Guys are awesome. And Tim just did a great job talking about all the pressure that our industry is under for margins and profitability and the really headwinds that we're all fighting across the board. And we are in a battle for fair distribution that is really about the future of gaming. And why? So that every project that you build and that you launch isn't a bet on the entire existence of your company. And this is truly a critical time of change. And the Epic Games Store is built to help you maximize every dollar that you earn. And as we expand and evolve into the first true multi-platform store, our core principles and programs come across seamlessly from PC to mobile, such as our base 8812 revenue share offered to all developers. You also have the opportunity to keep 100% of every dollar that you make if you use your own payment solution for in-app purchases. And with our opt-in exclusivity program, Epic First Run, you receive 100% of net revenue for the initial 6 months after release. And don't forget, Unreal Engine licensees pay 0% Unreal Engine royalties on all Epic Games Store sales using Epic's payment processor. But that's not all. There's really one more thing, and the reason I'm even here today at this keynote is to announce amazing new Unreal Engine pricing terms that will be game-changing for your business. Starting on January 1st of next year, we are introducing Launch Everywhere with Epic. And through this program, we are offering a royalty rate reduction from the standard 5% to 3.5%. And to participate, yeah, super cool. Thank you. To participate in this program, you'll need to ship your Unreal Engine game first or simultaneously on the Epic Games Store on all platforms where you ship your game, and we have a store. This includes PC, Mac, and in Android, and in the future, iOS. And when you launch everywhere with the Epic Games Store, you benefit everywhere that you offer your game. This means eligible games will get the rate reduction across all stores, include Steam, and all platforms where you offer your game, and that includes all consoles. This is a powerful incentive for you to activate all of the incredible Epic Games Store opportunities and benefit everywhere. And we can't wait to work with you. I invite you to join Tim and me in just a few moments at 11 a.m. for our session with Aptoid and AltStore, where we'll talk about the changing mobile landscape and the new opportunities for developers. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Steve. Hi, everyone. I'm Bill Clifford. I'm the GM of the Unreal Engine business here at Epic Games. You know, Unreal Engine and the Epic Games Store are definitely better together, and we really hope that you'll take advantage of this opportunity to reach more players and improve your margins. All right, here we all are together in Seattle. Look at all the beautiful Unreal Engine developers. I love it. Who here joined us at Fest in New Orleans? Let me hear it. All right, woo. Got a lot of veterans. That city was so good to us over the past few years, and we had a lot of fun, maybe too much fun. I can say that for myself. But you know, we wanted to take the show on the road, mix it up a little bit. Seattle was our next best stop, we thought, and we've got an amazing developer community here. We've got an amazing partner community, a busy Epic office down the road in Bellevue, and of course, Seattle has great people, a legendary music scene, and unbelievable food. I can attest to that because I used to live down the street years ago, and I put on at least 20 pounds just eating my way through Pike's Place Market every day like a grizzly bear. Still working on that. We've got a great show lined up for you. You just heard from Steve about what's happening with the Epic Games Store. I hope you like that announcement. Simon is going to show you what the engine team's got cooking. Sax is going to talk about the Fortnite ecosystem. And of course, Dana will introduce some special guests who are here to showcase all of their amazing work. Now, I know this isn't our official State of Unreal presentation, but let me just tell you, thanks to your incredible work and your support, the State of Unreal is the strongest it's ever been. There are now over 850,000 of you actively working on projects in the engine every month. That's an all-time high, and we should break 1 million MAU next year. That's right. Thank you. We also have a thriving ecosystem of service providers, trainers, and educators. Many of you are here with us today. You're helping teams make the leap to UE. You're reskilling, upskilling, and growing the overall Unreal developer talent pool. You're doing God's work, people. We thank you, we love you, and we're here to support you. We've got more than 12 industries represented here at Fest this week. You are all the leaders of a real-time 3D revolution that's accelerating innovation across all industries and shaping the future of entertainment. Let's take a look at just a few highlights from across industries so far this year. In animation, The Amazing Digital Circus from Gooseworks and Glitch Productions is a dark comedy series and a YouTube viral sensation with 343 million views on the pilot alone. Later this week, on October 4th, it's coming to Netflix with episodes 1 through 3 available to stream there and on YouTube. I had the chance to hang out with some of the Glitch team at Unreal Fest in Gold Coast, and I couldn't be happier for them. It was a great bunch. Virtual production has been transformative across the entertainment industry. We'd like to give a shout out to Synapse Virtual Production, Flawless Post, and Metaphysic for pulling out all the stops with Unreal Engine and with MetaHumans to create Eminem's Houdini video, which won the MTV VMA for Best Visual Effects. You can see here how that transitions from live action to Eminem and virtual sets to the comic book treatment all work so well together to tell an irreverent superhero story. Moment Factory is tackling one of the world's most complex media canvases, bringing immersive, innovative live concert experiences to the Sphere in Las Vegas. The team delivered an absolutely mind-bending audiovisual experience for Phish fans this summer. Unfortunately, I couldn't make the trip to Vegas. Trey, Phish, I know you're watching the live stream of Unreal Fest. Please run it back next year so I can go. Now, shifting gears from psychedelic light shows to the scintillating world of aviation simulation, CAE, a world leader in flight simulators, selected UE5 to build its Prodigy visual system, which recently became the first game engine-based image generator to achieve Level D qualification from aviation authorities. For those of you who aren't aviation authorities, that's a really big deal. CAE Prodigy delivers a highly immersive training experience with photoreal environments that are modernizing pilot training for their customers around the world. Be sure to check out their session later today to learn more. A few years ago, the North Face set out on a digital transformation journey to identify and pilot new technologies that had the potential to transform how they go to market with new products and how they engage consumers digitally. They used the Unreal Engine to create this virtual showroom experience in partnership with Pixel Pool, and this just scratches the surface of their work. This looks so real, it's unbelievable. In architecture, this groundbreaking project from the Boundary brings Neom's Magna region to life, flexing Unreal Engine's power and rendering detailed, large-scaled environments. Users can seamlessly transition from ground level to sweeping global views, offering both interactive exploration and the ability to generate stunning visuals on the fly. Now, speaking of stunning visuals, for the past 8 years, we've been working with car makers to revolutionize their pipelines, empowering them to use real-time 3D across design teams, engineering teams, sales teams, and marketing teams. During this time, we've also seen the rise of the software-defined vehicle. And as we approach fully autonomous driving, consumers are going to expect more immersive digital experiences in the car. And they're also likely to be playing more games in the car, so it's important that we watch this space. General Motors first used Unreal to serve up 3D HMI in the Hummer EV. And by the way, HMI stands for Human-Machine Interface. In other words, all of the kick-ass digital experiences that you see in your car. Rivian had Unreal Engine running in the R1T and the R1S the day they hit the road. Volvo Cars became the first European car maker to use Unreal for HMI development. And then Sony Honda Mobility recently revealed their Fila prototype, which will also use Unreal for its HMI. Now, while the list goes on, these brands have one thing in common. They're running on the Snapdragon digital chassis from Qualcomm. Epic and Qualcomm have a long history of working together, from optimizing games like Fortnite to run on mobile, and to bringing real-time 3D to the automotive industry. And today, they're here to help us turn up the heat even more. Everyone, please welcome Arvind Chander from Qualcomm to the stage. Arvind, what's up, man? Great to see you.
Hi, Bill. Thanks for having me here.
It's great to have you and the entire, there's a lot of you from Qualcomm here. Appreciate you joining. Now, we've been collaborating for a while now. Why don't you tell everyone what's up next?
Yeah, happy to. We're excited to announce that Qualcomm is expanding our partnership with Epic Games. We'll be bringing to the market a unique offering combining the power of Unreal Engine and our Snapdragon cockpit platform. This demonstrates a new level of user experience and cohesive HMI product that's undeniably best in class. We're now offering a turnkey out-of-the-box solution to ensure that manufacturers can achieve optimal performance with reliability with the Unreal Engine on Snapdragon cockpit platform.
Arvind, how many cars on the road have this platform?
Great question. We currently have more than 350 million cars on the road using our Snapdragon digital chassis solution.
Arvind, that's a lot of cars.
Yeah.
That's a lot of cars.
We are excited to bring Unreal to a large OEM customer base. This opens the door to unprecedented visual fidelity, connectivity, and all the personalization that you would expect to have with advanced Unreal Engine workflows.
Thanks, Arvind. We're super excited to bring Unreal-powered graphics and immersive experience to drivers around the world, millions and millions of drivers around the world with Qualcomm. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
See you soon. All right, let's talk about what's happening in games. From day one, our mission has been to revolutionize the creation process for game developers. Since the public launch of UE5 in 2022, not too long ago in game development years, we've been working side by side with some of the most prolific studios in the world, like the Coalition and CD Projekt Red. Together, we're pushing the boundaries of the engine to help them create vast, open worlds and incredible stories without any compromise. More and more studios like Crystal Dynamics, EA, and Riot Games are moving beloved franchises to Unreal Engine to give fans next-level graphics and amazing new gameplay experiences. We're also seeing a lot of developers launch completely new IP with UE5, and these games are achieving staggering results. Black Myth Wukong has taken the world by storm, as we all know, selling more than 10 million copies in its first 3 days and breaking all kinds of player count records. Hats off to the game science team for just last week surpassing 20 million units sold. And we actually have a message from game science CEO Feng Ji about their journey so far. Don't worry if you don't speak Mandarin, we've got subtitles. Let's roll the video.
大家好，我是游戏科学的冯骥。回顾我们做过的产品，使用虚幻引擎开发《黑神话：悟空》，可能是最正确的决策之一。尤其是在2021年，我们把整个项目升级到了 UE5，像 Lumen 和 Nanite 这样的技术，大大提升了我们游戏表现力的上限，也使得我们这样的小团队不用花太多的成本和人力去钻研图形技术，而是可以把精力聚焦在去提升游戏乐趣上。那在未来呢，我们也会继续跟 Epic 深度合作，打造下一代更有沉浸感的虚拟体验。最后，祝大家在西雅图玩得愉快。
Thank you, Feng, and the entire game science team. Awesome stuff. In the indie space, the medieval city builder, Manor Lords, sold over 1 million copies in one day and broke concurrent player count records in their genre. Congrats to our friends at Slavic Magic for their incredible success. Over the last year, let's give it up for Slavic Magic. Thank you. Over the last year, we've begun to see Unreal Engine gain real traction with mobile developers. Here are just a few top-grossing mobile games from around the world, with many more in the pipeline as pioneers like Zynga and Scopely are actively using Unreal for their next projects. While we know Unreal can deliver amazing results on high-end mobile devices, we recognize we have a lot of work to do here, and we're well on our way. We're committed to improving the quality of life for mobile developers and helping you support as many devices as possible to reach as many players as possible. We want to be the engine of choice for mobile developers, and you're going to hear more about that from Simon in just a moment. Now, I know you've all been anxiously awaiting the arrival of Fab, our new unified digital asset marketplace. I'm excited to announce that we'll be launching this month. Fab is designed to bring you everything you need to build real-time 3D experiences in a single destination. It's an open marketplace for creators across industries that will support all game engines and digital content creation tools. On launch day, all the amazing content on the Unreal Engine marketplace that you love will move over to Fab. And don't worry, everything you've previously purchased will still be available in your vault. The Quixel Megascans library is also moving to Fab and will be available for free through the end of the year for use across all engines, not just Unreal. The Quixel team will continue on their mission to scan the world, bringing amazing new content to Fab on a regular basis. As promised, we'll be launching with loads of new free and paid real-time ready assets from some of the best digital artists in the world. As of today, our publisher portal is now open for general admission, so everyone can sign up to become a seller and begin submitting your content. And as an added incentive to get you started, you're going to keep 100% of sales through the end of the year, and then we'll revert to an industry-leading 88% rev share to creators. So come check out Fab when we launch. It's going to be worth the wait. Now, Fab is part of a growing ecosystem of tools, services, content offerings, and distribution opportunities that are designed to help small teams do big things. We continue to invest in all these tools, and we're focused on integrating workflows to help you build great experiences that reach massive audiences. Twinmotion is our easy-to-use visualization tool that's seen a 75% increase in new users year to date. We've introduced new templates and features to support designers and storytellers across all industries. Believe it or not, what you're seeing on screen is all running in Twinmotion, made without writing a single line of code. Our dev team's objective is to reduce time to magic to a bare minimum for people with really no 3D experience. The team's making great progress doing that. Reality capture and reality scan continue to bring you the best photogrammetry solutions for desktop and mobile. We're now processing 45 million scans a month, with hundreds of thousands of high-quality models being exported. We've continued to invest in the MetaHuman framework. We're trying to help you make the creation and animation of really believable digital humans faster and cheaper. And to date, there have been over 7.5 million metahumans created and exported. Be sure to check out all these tools and services at the Expo. All right, who's ready to see what's coming in the 5.5 release? Let's welcome my friend, Simon Tourangeau. Thank you.
Thanks, Bill. Hey, everyone. It's great to be here this morning. As you know, we've been licensing Unreal Engine for all kinds of projects for more than 28 years. And working with UE developers like you has always been what keeps us hungry to innovate and eager to build the tools we wish we had when we were just starting out. When we set out to build Unreal Engine 5, we wanted to pursue three things: photorealism in the real world, photorealism in real time, large open worlds, and performance without compromise. We built a number of ambitious demos like Lumen in the Land of Nanite, The Matrix Awakens, and Electric Dreams. Our intent with these demos is to always push the limits of the engine and develop groundbreaking rendering technologies like Lumen, Nanite, and Substrate, while improving core systems like animation, physics, and audio. And shipping our own games across a wide range of platforms helps us improve and optimize Unreal's tools and workflows for our entire community. We're excited to announce that Unreal Engine 5.5 Preview 1 is available today. In a few minutes, I'll show you another awesome demo that helped us push the engine even further. But before that, let's talk about some of the improvements we've made with rendering. Back in 2020, Nanite made it possible to render highly detailed assets that look great from any distance without having to worry about polygon count and LOD generation, greatly simplifying the workflows. And we're now getting closer to a full Nanite rendering pipeline, which will drastically improve performance. And with 5.5, we now have support for Nanite skeletal meshes. While this feature is still experimental, we've overcome many complex hurdles. It currently supports linear blend skinning combined with dynamic displacement, and we're working on adding translucency support for high-quality characters. With this feature, you'll get incredibly fast rendering of crowds of hundreds of high-quality characters, including metahumans. Lumen was another giant step forward, bringing fully dynamic global illumination and reflections to increase realism and improve lighting workflows. Since then, we've been focused on improving Lumen performance and quality for 60 FPS games. And with 5.5, hardware ray tracing is now faster and can be used by default on your projects to greatly improve your lighting quality. Our path tracer has been extremely useful both as a ground truth generator and for offline rendering cases. In 5.5, we're pushing it even further by adding Vulkan support for Linux render farms and bringing best-in-class temporal stability with a new denoiser that greatly reduces flickering in image sequences. Studios use path tracer to push the fidelity of the worlds they're creating, like our friends at Pure Imagination and Zebu Animation. They put path tracer to its paces in the new film Piece by Piece, which opens in theater on October 11th. This is the animated biopic of Pharrell Williams, all done in Unreal Engine, and we can't wait for you to see it. All right, I'm excited to give you all another look at how we're pushing the boundaries while staying true to our mission of delivering performance without compromise. To show you exactly what I mean, please join me in welcoming Wyatt Johnson and Victor Broughton to the stage.
Thank you, Simon. Hey, Victor.
Hey, everyone.
Let's jump right into it. When we look at where to take Unreal Engine in the future, we start with the user, asking ourselves how the tools and the tech get out of their way as they bring their ideas to life. One challenging limitation for our creators has been the cost of shadow casting lights. To that end, we've developed new technology that enables artists to use orders of magnitude more and higher quality light sources than ever before. Let's take an early look at this new feature we're calling Mega Lights. And who better to guide us through this experience than our intrepid explorer from Lumen in the land of nanite, Echo. Let's see what's up ahead, Victor.
Always something new to discover.
Before we get into the details of megalights, I first wanted to talk about this environment. Built using a suite of brand new assets from the Quixel Megascans library, we've also partnered with Kitbash 3D. They're an awesome resource for 3D models and materials. You can soon find many of these assets on our new Fab Asset Marketplace if you want to use them in your own projects. Moving on, let's talk megalights. Unreal Engine is at its best when users can express themselves without technical constraint. Like nanite did for triangles or Lumen for global illumination, megalights removes limitation in a whole new category: direct lighting and shadows. Take, for example, these textured area lights, considered the gold standard of offline rendering. Here they are, in real time, spilling vibrant color into the scene, casting soft shadows, and illuminating the environment in a way artists simply couldn't have done before. And a whole new tool in the Creator's Toolkit is huge, but that's not the only way megalights makes things better. Let's see what's next.
Hey there, little guy. Who are you?
So it looks like Echo has found herself in quite an interesting marketplace here. It's just about to open for the day. Let's turn on some of these shop fronts and see what's for sale. There's something missing, though. The scene, it's flat, it's undefined. Let's turn on shadows, but not just for a few important lights, for every single light in the entire view. From these main shop fronts to the screens, the displays, the flickering oil lamps, string lights, candles, signs, we're free to use whatever lights we need to tell our story and bring this beautiful environment to life. Now, the density of light sources you see here, it's extremely high. And this is what you get when artists are working playfully, without limitation. Okay, let's go back to the scene. Victor, let's go further. Let's activate all these animated drones and robots. Over 1,000 individual shadow casting light sources in this view alone.
Wow. Like little fireflies.
All of these lights, they're movable, dynamic, scattering through the volumetric fog, and Megalights handles this impressive scene without missing a beat. As we continue on, it's worth mentioning that removing these limitations around light count and shadows, it doesn't just apply to point and spotlights, but to area lights as well. Megalights enables artists to use area lights as freely as they would any other light source. Now, whether you're using textured area lights, light functions, crisp shadows, or lovely soft shadows, you can have huge numbers of lights of any type in whatever configuration works best for your scene. Now, as we send Echo off on her next adventure, we should mention performance. What you've seen here is running live on a PlayStation 5. Megalights is included in UE55. It's an experimental feature in 5.5, and you can also check it out on the expo floor if you want a closer look at all the pretty pixels. Thank you very much. Back to you, Simon.
Wow, thanks, guys. That was truly amazing. This feature will greatly simplify the lighting process and open up many possibilities. Now, with the awesome environments you can build with Nanite, Lumen, and our Quixel Megascans, you need characters to blend well into the scene, to be believable, and to move with smooth transitions. Back at GDC, we showed you our new motion matching technology that helps you achieve smoother animation transition and locomotion that adapts to the environment. Creating animation requires a lot of effort, and being able to do it in context in your environments makes that much easier. That is why we're continuing to invest in developing a world-class animation authoring system and removing the need to round trip to DCC or any external tools. Some of the improvements we've made in 5.5 include deformers that are now much easier to use and can be added to sequencer with just one click. Time warp curves and animation layers have been added, enabling non-destructive editing on top of existing animation or mocap. Choosers help you make selections in animation blueprint systems. And finally, the skeletal editor is now production ready. Character creation and customization is another area where we invested in order to simplify content creation workflows. The Mutable plugin makes it easier to support a wide range of variations on characters or skeletal meshes. For example, it hides hair when equipping a helmet. It can also procedurally tuck pants into boots and hide parts of layered clothing to prevent Z-fighting. It reduces the number of draw calls by optimizing and merging mesh sections and textures. And all of this can be achieved simply by using a graph, reducing the need for your team to create character variations individually. This plugin will ship as beta in 5.5, and we've included a content sample to help you get started. You can also leverage machine learning to keep your characters more realistic. Our simulation system can be used to provide high-fidelity ML training data for clot and muscle deformation. And while we're talking about simulation and physics, in 5.5, we've added support for customizable vehicles that provide a building block-style assembly, giving you the flexibility to configure and customize your vehicles with ease. As for chaos physics, we're committed to making it an accurate and simple-to-use simulation system. In 5.5, we've made significant optimizations and expanded the chaos visual debugger to help with performance analysis and debugging. Now, let's talk about audio. A few years ago, we introduced MetaSounds, our procedural audio engine, to give more control and better controls to audio designers. With 5.5, we improved productivity and performance with MetaSound pages, which can be used to swap graphs to target low-spec platforms, the relative render cost metric, which helps limit CPU usage, and many updates to Audio Insights, our analyzer and profiler tool. For all you audiophiles in the room, be sure to stop by our audio booth in the expo to dig deeper into these updates. Now, you've heard how important mobile development is to us. And with 5.5, we're making it easier than ever to build high-end games on mobile devices that now rival last-gen consoles. With enhanced platform support, our goal is to help you reach more players by fully utilizing the power of modern mobile hardware. With Mobile Preview, you'll now be able to match device visuals, including resolution, safe zones, mesh LODs, and texture details. And you can seamlessly switch between different performance profiles and devices to ensure players are getting the best possible experience on any device. And like Steve mentioned earlier, we brought Fortnite back on iOS in Europe. With this effort, we took the opportunity to optimize UI's mobile performance and memory even further. Being developers ourselves and creating Fortnite internally helps us make the engine better for all of us. And this is not the end. We are committed to improving the mobile experience in UE, so expect more in the future. When I joined Epic about 8 years ago, my mandate was to expand Unreal Engine into new areas like automotive and virtual production. For automotive, we needed to have solid CAD import workflows and ultra-realistic car rendering. What started as a small effort has grown significantly, and today Unreal Engine plays a major role in the industry's visualization workflows. let's take a look at a preview of a new BMW digital twin visualized with Unreal Engine. This is their new 5 Series. And as you can see, the car looks amazing in UE. This goes beyond color and option changes. This is a true digital twin made of over 20,000 pieces of the entire car, inside and out, imported into Unreal via the Datasmith CAD importer. With the power of UE5, we're taking a master model approach to automotive data that makes this pipeline repeatable and sustainable for manufacturers. And now that you've gotten a sneak peek, we invite you to the session here at UE Fest, where you'll be able to see this BMW project and workflow in more detail. As for virtual production, we began with video capture card support and evolved into LED walls and in-camera VFX, revolutionizing TV and film production. And we're not stopping there. With Unreal Engine 5.5, we've made significant strides, moving some key features to production ready. Like our SMT2110 integration for in-camera VFX, which provides a cost-effective, low-latency, flexible solution for LED wall setups. We've added multi-camera support, as well as inner frustum splitting for maximum performance at high resolutions. We also have the depth of field compensation tool that correctly defocuses the LED wall for improved realism. Some of our experimental tools will be moving to beta, like our motion design mode, which helps artists create stunning motion graphics. The movie render graph used to export your offline render passes has improved workflows and increased render layer support. And the Live Link Hub for your motion capture needs now support third-party plugins to expand its capabilities. In parallel to our in-camera VFX efforts, we increased our focus towards linear animation pipelines. And we will continue to invest heavily in our animation authoring tools and offline rendering workflows. These updates offer virtual production teams more efficient, cost-effective tools for enhanced realism, faster workflows, and greater creative control. All right, that was a lot. If you want to dig in deeper to anything I mentioned today, as well as other exciting features, be sure to check out one of our many talks here at Fest. And as always, you can follow our roadmap for regular updates on what the team is working on. Unreal Engine 5.5 marks another significant step in our mission to empower creators to bring their visions to life and craft amazing experiences. Your feedback and the way you push the limits with each release drives us to keep improving the engine for everyone. We invite you to explore the 5.5 preview, experiment, create, and enjoy. And now, let's welcome Sax to the stage. Thank you.
Thanks, Simon. Hello, everyone. It's great to be here today at Unreal Fest to share what's new with Unreal Editor for Fortnite. We launched UEFN to enable creators to build their own games inside of Fortnite and be compensated fairly based on player engagement. Many of you here in the audience today have helped expand what's possible with UEFN. Let's take a look at some of the amazing content so far.
Tuned into the master, original, never manufactured. I break the mold, shatter the plaster. You can learn something, watch this, get your camera. They can't do it like me.
We want to put the most powerful tools into your hands as we continue to make Fortnite the most creator-friendly ecosystem to develop and launch games. UEFN puts the power of Unreal Engine at your fingertips, but it's unique at the speed at which you can iterate on your game. You can rapidly prototype in UEFN, connect to the live Fortnite environment on PC, console, and mobile with no dev kit needed. So let's start with an update on how we're working to improve discoverability of your games. So a key aspect of finding success within the ecosystem is how your content is surfaced to players and discover. That's the interface where Fortnite players can explore and find their next favorite game. We recently launched new Discover features to get your island in front of the right players with personalized recommendations updated hourly. And with over 400 new islands releasing every single day, improving Discover has never been more important. We have a lot more work to do. Behind me, you will see part of the redesigned version of Discover that will launch soon, and you will be able to, and we'll continue to iterate to enable players to find new genres that they love, including deeply regional content. You can learn a lot more about the new features at the Discover Talk on Thursday at 11:45. So once players discover and play your game, the economy will reward your success. In Fortnite ecosystem, it's simple. If players play your game, you get paid. We're continuously working on new features that empower you to deliver highest quality content and help you build and manage your business in Fortnite. As of today, we've had 134,000 islands published with UEFN, and we've paid out $479 million to creators. Thank you. The central hub to manage and grow your business is the Creator Portal. Recently, we've added more key analytics around impressions, clicks, and section duration in Creator Portal. And our goal is to help you hone in on what elements of your island exactly are resonating with players and where you have insights for areas of improvement. This is just one example, and you can learn a lot more about the Creator Portal at our talk on Thursday at 2 p.m. Now, let's dive into the new features that we're building for UEFN itself. Our aim is to build tools and platforms that enable you to make the games that you want to make and publish them directly into Fortnite. While we still have a ways to go, in the next few months, we're addressing some of the big holes in the capabilities of the platform. So first, Fortnite players love a good shooter game. However, there's a perspective that has been neglected, first-person shooters. That's why I'm excited to share that we've just released the experimental first-person camera mode device in UEFN. This is going to enable creators to give the ability to build islands in some of today's most popular genres, including tactical, team-based, and ability-based shooters. You can start building and experimenting today, and you'll be able to publish those islands to players later this year. And to further support the development of first-person games over the next year, we'll also be introducing the ability to create fully custom weapons, deeper UI capabilities, and finally, global leaderboards. Shooters is just one genre that players love. More casual experiences are fast gaining popularity in the ecosystem. On average, about 1/3 of time spent playing creator-made games is in non-combat games now, and that share has been growing over time. So let's talk about what we're going to do to enable more of these genres. We're focused on making it easier to create casual and social games with the introduction of text chat coming very soon. Within the next year, we'll also release fully custom items and in-world UI capabilities. And all of these features would enable you to build games in a variety of genres like social roleplay, action RPGs, horror, and much more. And then finally, a core tool that supports both shooter and casual games is Scene Graph, and like our new entity and component framework. We launched Scene Graph, an experimental feature, in June, giving you the early access to the tools as we continue to iterate and improve based on your feedback. Now, in December, Scene Graph will be moving into beta, meaning you'll finally be able to publish your islands. So Scene Graphs enable you to iterate and create variations of your content much more efficiently, to build better experiences faster, greater control over core engine systems like audio, physics, particle meshes, and then finally, you can inject custom gameplay logic with verse components. So one more thing. We love giving you tools that spark creativity and the opportunity to build with world-class IP, like we did with Fall Guys, Lego, and Rocket Racing earlier this year. So what better way to bring the brawler genre to Fortnite than partnering with Paramount to bring you Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? We're just as excited. So starting today, you can get custom weapons, devices, templates, and assets that enable you to build your very own authentic TMNT island that you can publish in November. Anyone in the Island Creator Program can publish islands with these tools by agreeing to the 15% engagement payout share with Paramount. And if you've already signed the agreement to create Lego islands, you don't have to sign again. So you'll be able to use TMNT devices, including the classic turtle weapons, world-building POIs, such as the Technodrome, fully playable, and along with the existing UEFN tools to build out your experience. And all of that, paired with our new camera system, custom-branded NPCs, and TMNT-themed UI, unlocks the building of classic beat-em-up experiences. And we're also releasing the post-processing features you saw to all Fortnite creators to enable them to transform your experience and give them like a classic comic book feel. So one of the ways that we here at Epic use to improve our tools is by using them ourselves. And earlier this year, we shared that we'll be shipping a season in Battle Royale built fully in UEFN by the end of 2025. As a step on that journey, we're building 2 projects currently using a mix of UEFN and internal features. The first is an updated version of Reload that players will experience in the coming weeks. The focus on the rebuild was dialing in core editor workflows. Otherwise, to players, it's completely transparent that it went into UEFN. Later this year, we're launching a brand new game made primarily in UEFN to stress test Verse and the UX framework. We made the decision at Epic to move our first-party teams to UEFN sooner to accelerate feature development with the goal of creating better, more robust tools for everyone faster. Right now, it might seem that UE and UEFN are still really far apart, but Verse, Scene Graph, and the APIs that we're releasing in December are all part of the foundation for the future of UE6. This incredible community of creators is expanding what's possible in Fortnite and beyond. Thank you for your tremendous contributions to the Epic ecosystem, and thank you for your time. And now, please welcome Dana Cowley to the stage.
Thank you for that update, Sax. So the opportunities are limitless. Whatever you want to build, we provide the tools, and you make it real or unreal. Now, before we welcome up our next guests up to the stage, we'd like to share a little bit about what's new over at the Epic developer community. We've brought lots of improvements to the learning experience and features that will help you get the information you need. First, we've migrated all Unreal Engine documentation to the Epic developer community for a more seamless experience, including better search and navigation. Second, we've overhauled the tutorial editor to make writing tutorials easier and faster. And third, we've improved profiles to raise the visibility of your own contributions to the community. And on top of that, we've launched the user directory to help you search over 1 million profiles, and you can now use team profiles to promote your studio. And today, we're happy to announce that we have launched an all-new hub with dedicated resources to throw our support behind small and emerging developers with big ambitions. Epic for Indies is a new space for independent game developers within the Epic developer community, and we invite you to learn all about the new perks, get to know each other, share your knowledge and ideas there. In addition to the forum, please check out the new learning library. The hub is really for developers across all engines, stores, and services. Doors are open, and we're going to be bringing you monthly live streams with industry guests, hosting office hours with our technical teams, and so much more. And in case you missed it, this summer we hosted Project Titan, an open-world art jam in which over 500 talented artists contributed over 60 gigs of meshes, textures, materials, animations, Niagara particle systems, all of which we will be releasing for free to you on Fab later this year. Thank you. Thanks. Moving on with the show, this next team is really pushing on what it takes to build persistent online social worlds. Mainframe Industries has a legacy that includes working on some of the most celebrated AAA and massively multiplayer online games. And over the last few years, they've been hammering on UE5 with the goal of giving players limitless possibilities to make the world of PAX Day truly their own. So please welcome Thor Gunnarsson and Shulka Haro to the stage.
Thanks, Dana, for having us. I'm Thor Gunnarsson, co-founder and CEO at Mainframe Industries.
And I'm Shulka Haro, co-founder and chief product officer. It's super exciting to be here.
So we're a European-based independent developer, a small team passionately crafting a one-of-a-kind MMO. It's a project some of us have been dreaming of for more than 20 years. We call it PAX Day.
Our game is what we call a social sandbox MMO. Taking inspiration from medieval Europe, PAX Day is a vast open world shared between thousands of players. Here, you choose the role you want to play, explore the land, build your home, and forge your reputation.
First and foremost, PAX Day is a place. As we set about creating an MMO for the modern age, we knew the first thing we had to get right was the world. We spent a lot of time establishing the right atmosphere. We want the world of PAX Day to feel grounded and familiar, while at the same time looking cinematic, more vibrant, and larger than life.
Unreal Engine empowers our relatively small team to punch way above our weight class in terms of project scope and quality. Lumen allows us to achieve unparalleled realism in our environments, while Nanite ensures that even the most intricate details are rendered flawlessly without compromising performance.
And we have the ability to render player-made structures in real time, in minute detail, and at great distances. Players can gaze out over miles of terrain, spotting distant landmarks and player-built cities that invite exploration.
One of the most powerful extensions we've made to Unreal is the ability to seamlessly transition player state between Unreal servers. By stitching together a fleet of Unreal servers, we created a game world over 150 square miles in size that can support over 8,000 players in a single game instance. As players travel, servers are automatically spun up, ensuring a smooth gameplay experience.
PAX Day is a true sandbox. The world's a stage, a blank canvas for players to make their own. Everything players use in the game has to be crafted, starting with your home. We've been amazed at the level of creativity our players have shown using the modular building system in the game. And when full clans join forces, whole player-created civilizations start to emerge.
Our vision for PAX Day required us to address heads-on the classic challenge any MMO faces: how to handle high player density. To tackle this, we created tech that dynamically distributes players across layers. This allows the server capacity to temporarily scale in the same location whenever that zone requires higher concurrency. Player and world state is persisted across all the layers, with each layer corresponding to a single Unreal server. With layering, clans can work together to build huge structures such as cities, while still sharing the same persisted world. And all persisted states, such as buildings, inventories, and market stalls, is intelligently shared and replicated using a robust backend that ensures transactionality and data integrity.
And it's not only buildings. Every weapon, dress, or piece of armor in PAX Day is player-created. We work hard on giving each item a level of detail that will make players proud of having crafted it. And soon we're going to be adding a lot of depth to this aspect of our game.
We're currently upgrading our wear and tear system to dynamically adjust the appearances of individual pieces of equipment, reflecting how much damage is received, so you know if it's time for repair. We also built each item from the ground up to be modular, making it easy to adjust the fabric and color, add patterns or symbols, or change the trim. With these options, players will soon be able to express as much creativity in customizing their appearance as they already enjoy in the building side of the game.
Our game requires the community to come alive. To all the players that have joined us in early access so far, thank you. We've been humbled by your feedback, support, and passion, and we couldn't do it without you. If you want to support a team making something fresh in the MMO space, please join our early access now and help us build a virtual world that we can all inhabit for years to come. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much, Thor and Shulka. All right, now it's your turn to go build something fun in PAX Day. Coming up to the stage next is a friend of ours who leads a team that brings next-level creative genius to both film and games. Magnopus has been stretching their wings with Unreal for years. From award-winning movies and television shows to Fortnite concerts that bring joy to millions of people around the world. That's really all you need to know, so let's get him up here. Give it up for Ben Grossman.
Thanks, Dana. Good crowd.
All right, gather around, children. Grandpa's going to tell a story. 70,000 years ago, humans had amazing tool interoperability. Pretty much everyone used the same accessible tools for every aspect of their lives. So anyone could be anything. And over time, these tools became more specialized. Eventually, everyone's pet rock became rock concerts. And that's been great, because it's led to big leaps forward in all these areas of life. And today, we can make awesome in all worlds. Art, music, architecture, movies, theme parks, games, you name it, but they don't always play well together. Maybe we've gotten a little stuck treating them separately. Maybe it even bums out the poor folks who want to experience these awesome things that creators are creating. And maybe we're starting to hit the limits of how great those things can be. Now, don't get me wrong, things are awesome possum, but it could be better. So enter Unreal Engine. Really? We're highlighting the greatest creation tool invented since the dawn of civilization. We're just going to pop the logo on like that, like we're not at some festival celebrating the apex of humanity. Let's try that again. Unreal Engine. I felt that one. I felt it. There you go. That'll do. Now, you've seen today that creators are using Unreal Engine to make awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. And now that we're able to use a common tool in all these different parts of life, we've unlocked some pretty cool possibilities. It's time to bring back a new era of interoperability. We are artists. Look around this room. Engineers, designers, quality assurance. From games, movies, TV, museums, architecture, theme parks, music, so much more. It's our human nature for us to explore places that we haven't been. Put things together differently to make them better. Forget staying in our lane. Let's jump the rails. This year, we used Epic's latest technologies to mash up games and music to create an experience with Metallica called Fuel, Fire, Fury. And we collaborated with the great team at Harmonix and Fortnite. But because we did it in UEFN, we didn't do anything that you couldn't do too. Syncing the music around you to music is addicting, and now is brought to you by killer features like Fabric in UEFN. So as a creator, you can decide where's the line between music or game, and if there even needs to be a line at all. But speaking of lines, it turns out you're expected to cross a few when you're working for a band like Metallica. So when we needed to ride the lightning beyond the creative tool set, we used Verse. And it only took us about 7,000 lines of Verse to add a little something, something to make it unique. But when we were done with Metallica, we took a look at the budget, and we noticed we had a lot of pink pixels left over, like a lot. So we decided to use all of them at once with Carol G in creating a Fortnite trip through the rainbow. And for the first time ever, we used markerless computer vision from Hume to capture those that hot move at Metastage and retarget them right onto rigs in UEFN. And it's not a contest. But Carol G got 9,000 lines of Verse. And we're not done this year. We've got even more boundary crossing experiences coming up. Speaking of years, we started this talk 70,000 years ago. So let's skip ahead to the year 2077. Some of you might have heard of a little game franchise called Fallout. Turns out it's kind of popular. So the Vaulties at Kilter Films decided to work with Bethesda to make a TV series set in the world of Fallout so that even non-gamers can enjoy the endless fun of trying to keep all your limbs attached while collecting caps in a post-apocalyptic wasteland. Now, despite global politicians' best efforts, it turns out it's kind of hard to find a good post-apocalyptic wasteland to shoot an episodic series in, so we put gamers on the set with filmmakers, driving Unreal levels out to a giant 190-foot LED wall so filmmakers could shoot directly into it. They did an awesome job building that out in the physical world. We backed them up in the virtual world with Unreal Engine and our atomic virtual production team. Because we like to live like there's no tomorrow, only 1 week after it came out, we upgraded the whole stage so we could use Lumen for the first time ever with in-camera visual effects. Now, Fallout was such a hit, becoming the most watched whatever, whenever, wherever on Amazon Prime, that we're using even more cutting-edge stuff with Unreal on Season 2. You can find out more details about Season 1 at a special session later in the fest. Now, That's just a couple of examples. Music meeting games, games meeting television, whatever we as a community decide to mash up. The future is beautifully rendered worlds across physical and digital, all set to great music on any device you've got. So if you look around and you don't see the world that you want, build it yourself, just like we are. Thank you. Keep creating.
Now that's what I'm talking about. We're building it, you're building it, we're all building it together. So we are massive fans of the world-class game development studio that our next guest leads. They create insanely cool worlds from the ground up with total authenticity. And nobody does it like Riot does. So we are honored to welcome Anna Donlan to the stage.
Hey everyone, I'm Anna. I head up the Valorant studio at Riot. I want to thank our friends at Epic for inviting me here today. This is bananas. So most of you have no idea who I am, but if you did, you'd know that I can really get up all in my head on things. I like to be prepared and thoughtful and researched, and so when thinking about what to talk about today, I went back and I looked at a bunch of previous Unreal Fest keynote segments. And I was like, oh crap. Because segment after segment featured these exceptionally beautiful games, graphics-forward games, games that took advantage of some of Unreal's very best features and technology. This is Valorant. And while I imagine folks would have many positive things to say about the game, graphics-forward is likely not one of them. And yet, without Unreal, I don't think this game would have been possible. Our story is not one of day-night cycles or sprawling worlds, but it is one of extreme player orientation, the building of a global community, and a story where our devs get to be the heroes. Our goal with Valorant was to create a world-class 5v5 tactical shooter, hyper-competitive, super precise, where the addition of abilities create depth and strategy without undermining the gameplay. We wanted our game to be truly global, one that not only reflects and celebrates our global communities, but also supports them by running on machine specs that sometimes feel downright uncomfortable. And we wanted no one to feel like they were ever at a competitive disadvantage. Competitive integrity is our #1 tenet on Val. So our devs needed to focus on gameplay feel, anti-cheat, server latency, combating peeker's advantage, and so much more. What Unreal has brought to Riot and to Valorant is the very strongest of foundations: adaptability, flexibility, putting our devs in the position to focus on major innovations because instead of worrying about the engine, they're worrying about the things that matter most to our players. I'll give you an example, recent example, of what I'm talking about. So when we set out to make Val, we knew in our hearts and in our minds and in our bones that this game would be PC first in every single way. FPS on console? Sure. But a tactical shooter on console, especially one that's trying to deliver the gameplay experience that we really couldn't wrap our heads around it. And so upon launching the game, to our delight, we discovered lots of folks enjoy Valorant. Our player community was global. It was diverse, young, very demanding, and to be honest, larger than we were expecting. So our first couple of years were laser focused on all of those folks, making sure they felt fully supported. And then we started seeing the requests coming in. Val on console, when? And so console became harder and harder to ignore as an opportunity. Should we do it? Probably. Could we do it? That was the big question. I told the team and the community and my stakeholders that we would give it a shot, but that if we had to compromise on what makes Val Val, precise gunplay, strategy, high stakes, competitive integrity, then it wasn't worth doing. Other goals. This would not be a traditional port. Console players needed to believe that this game was built with their needs in mind. We didn't want to build an entirely new team. We wanted to learn things very quickly, and if we were going to go to market, I kind of wanted to get there as soon as we could. So, fun. Can you imagine us being able to do any of that if we had to port over a PC-only proprietary engine? Can you imagine us being able to do any of that if Unreal didn't already have built-in platform support? Unreal knows these platforms. It gives us integrations with console SDKs, rendering implementations, platform-native input handling. The engine is already optimized for all the different platforms, so we could focus on optimizing the game experience. And look, I know for most of you, that is a no-brainer and table stakes. But for Riot, we had never launched a live service game on console before, ever. So for us, having this capability immediately available to us was actually a game changer and a huge part of our decision to move forward. Once again, our devs could be heroes, focused entirely on what sets Val apart from other games in the space. Features like Focus Mode that helped us deliver true Valorant gameplay on controller without sacrificing what makes tac shooters great to begin with. Flexibility, adaptability, rock-solid foundation, capabilities that allowed us to learn a ton of things so fast and get to market very quickly. Millions of players are playing Val on console now, and we owe a huge part of that to our relationship with Unreal. So Valorant has been on a rocket ship since launch. It's actually incredibly humbling. Here we are, just 4 years in, played by over 35 million players a month all over the world on all manner of PCs, and now on PlayStation and Xbox, bringing major esports tournaments to all corners of the world and doing awesome music collaborations with folks like Zed and Gravitz and so many more. We have a team stacked with incredible world-class developers, Unreal developers, where the engine provides them the foundation required to make the very best experiences. And our teams at Riot are working so hard to make Valorant more than just a game, but a meaningful part of players' lives for decades to come. As my friend Ben would say, it's really exciting stuff, y'all. So look, I know that there was absolutely no lumen shown in this particular presentation. No nanites, no animation motion matching. I could not rattle off a list of UE5 features that are transforming Val as we know it. Wait, actually, can anyone guess what version of Unreal Val is on right now? 4.27. That's right. We have squeezed literally every ounce of everything we could get out of UE4. So now we make the move to UE5. And that is not an easy feat when your game is a live service game, but it is necessary for sure. And this upgrade is not going to significantly change how Val looks or performs, at least not right away. But here's what I can say. There are many developers back at Riot who are incredibly grateful for what Unreal has allowed us to do for players. And there are many developers back at Riot who are very excited about what UE5 can do for us in the future. Maybe those devs are working on something I can't talk about. Maybe those devs are thinking about ways to expand the Val universe into new playable experiences. Maybe we feel very fortunate to have everything UE5 can offer at our disposal, and maybe we're stoked that because we chose Unreal for Val, we can move our devs around and our tech around and our everything around really, really easily to explore those totally hypothetical new playable experiences. So maybe you'll see me or someone from my team up here in the future with a very different sort of presentation. But whatever comes next, you can count on us to keep working to deliver the best possible player experiences to our players. We know Epic and Unreal share our goals and excitement for the future of gaming. So really, our relationship is just getting started. I appreciate all of you. Thank you for the time. Having an amazing Unreal Fest. I'll see you all later.
Thanks, Anna. Good stuff. All right, it would not be Unreal Fest if we didn't give you an unfiltered view into the future of film and the evolution of entertainment. We're truly inspired by today's filmmakers and creative storytellers, and we're fortunate to have some of the best in the business right here today. And you're going to hear some really cool behind-the-scenes stories. And there's no one better to kick this off than our very own Kim Libreri.
Thanks, Dana. Thank you. Wow, a lot of people. Hi, everybody. It's been an incredible year for Unreal Engine in film and television. Today, over 800 film and TV productions have used Unreal Engine to create cinematic magic. We're looking forward to upcoming releases, including Witches, Mufasa, Venom, and I'm particularly looking forward to Pharrell Williams' incredible movie, Piece by Piece, that not only looks fantastic, it was generated entirely in Unreal Engine. Even the final pixels that you see on the screen were UE-based. The past awards season saw 3 out of the 5 Emmy nominees for outstanding visual effects using Unreal Engine. And as you all know, our dream at Epic has been to create a tool that empowers all storytellers across all forms of entertainment, enabling them to transport their characters and worlds to whichever destination their imagination takes them. In this new world of transmedia storytelling, it is incredible to see a new generation of filmmakers embrace these capabilities, even to the point where some of them are actually hands-on in Unreal Engine. One such director is here with us today, known for The Maze Runner, and more recently, the awesome Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes movie, our friend Wes Ball. Wes, come up to the stage.
Hey, man.
Hey, Wes, how's it going? All right, we're going to do a little fireside chat. Take a seat.
Hey, everybody.
OK, Wes, tell us a little bit about your journey as a storyteller and filmmaker.
Yeah, I mean, so I grew up in the 90s, during that giant digital revolution, with like movies like Jurassic Park and Terminator 2 and Matrix, of course.
Yeah, I know
this guy worked in
about
Matrix. And so, it was just so inspiring, like what you were able to achieve and stuff. So I kind of taught myself this software, like in my case, Lightwave 3D and After Effects. And so, I've been messing around with CG and VFX since I was just basically a kid. But it was really in 2012 when my career really started, when I made this little short called Ruin.
Oh, let's have a look.
And so this thing, which maybe some of you have seen, this is like 10 years now, but this was incredibly ambitious for me when I didn't know anything, basically. And it was quite a challenge, to build up the system that I could actually achieve this stuff. And
it still looks fantastic 10 years later.
I look at this today, and all the difficulty that I had back then trying to pull this thing off, alone in my little computer, I would do this in Unreal today. You know what I mean? So it shows how far we've come, actually, to be able to pull this stuff off, But so this short kind of went viral, and it kind of went online, and everyone saw it, and that's how I got invited by Fox Studios, onto the lot, and they kind of, we were talking about a feature version of this thing here, and in that meeting, someone pulled me aside, and they kind of, it's like a drug dealer or something, they pulled out this little book, and they gave it to me, and they said, hey, read this, take it home, read it, and then come back to us and tell us what you would do with it. And it was The Maze Runner.
Oh, wow.
So that's how I kind of got into my first movie, basically, was this crazy little, fantasy, series of books. And, very much like in the Ruin thing, they saw, VFX, you could make this little thing on a budget. So we made it for $34 million bucks, which is like romantic comedy kind of numbers.
That's a crazy low budget for a visual effects movie.
Yeah, and so, it ended up making like $350 million. It made like 10x its budget. So it became a new little franchise for the studio, and it was really successful, and it was really fantastic stuff. Funny story though, on this game, this was in 2013 when we were starting this thing. This was the first time that my introduction to real time, is where it came about, because one of our previs guys said, I think we should talk about doing a lot of our previs using game engines instead of like the traditional kind of
that
OpenGL.
was about when things were starting to kick off for Unreal.
And so that was a radical idea, and I didn't even appreciate how radical it was. And that was my first little introduction to it, but I didn't appreciate what it was until I got to this project called the Mouse Guard. And so I think I heard some claps out there. Good. Mouse Guard was this fantastic graphic novel by David Peterson, and we were going to do it. We were going to do it like Avatar. We were going to make this giant CG, full CG, motion capture, fantasy epic. We had Weta on board to do all the work. I had Andy Serkis cast and Idris Elba, and it was this fantastic project. But the challenge of it was, how are we going to do the virtual production aspects of it all? And that's where I met you.
We came down. We heard there was somebody trying to make design a whole movie in Unreal Engine.
Right.
This would have been.
We built the entire filmmaking process on this, Unreal Engine.
8 years ago.
Our own little systems for tracking kind of the mocap and the takes, and I fell in love with the engine because I could get on the box along with my, all my really small kind of, talented team of artists. Casey Pike and his team at Halon, who are here doing a talk later today. And so we built the whole thing on this thing, and it was fantastic because I could light, I could go in, I could change the cameras, it felt like I was in a live action environment. It was just like, it was creatively freeing. And so it was just super, super inspiring. We were pushing the kind of, the visual fidelity of this thing. This was 419 when we made this thing. We didn't have Lumen or Nanite. I mean, you were pissed off at me because I was using the LPV volumes to light it.
Right, yeah, yes.
There's a little hack in the engine.
Technique, yes. Actually, he was, during that era, came up to visit us in our Larkspur office, where Brian Karras, the creator of Nanite, is based. And we showed him the previews, and we're like, Brian, one day we'll be able to make stuff that takes this to the final result.
And that's what was so surprising, because for studio people that are used to seeing, really rough quality stuff, it was so wonderful to kind of watch this thing and be able to see what it might become once we give all this stuff over to Weta to carry it on and spend all ridiculous sums of money to make it all look, photoreal. Sadly, that project, it didn't happen.
Stuff happens.
That's a story for another time. But that's how I met Matt Reeves on that movie. He's a producer on it, and I learned the mocap thing. And that's when the studio kind of pulled me aside and said, "Sorry, it's not going to work. But what do you think about doing something with the next Planet of the Apes?" And so that's how that came about.
That's like a pretty sweet deal.
Yes, right. And so that's where that little adventure kind of really began.
So Kingdom is not only a visually stunning movie. One of the things that I loved about it is I really believed in the characters and the world. And that's no mean feat when most of the pixels that you're generating for many of the shots are fully computer generated. I remember, during the very beginning, when you started on the movie, you showed me.
I called you up, yeah.
Oh, yeah, you called me up, and it was during the pandemic, yeah? So we're on a Zoom call, and he's like, check this out. And he shows me this. And I'm like,
so this shot you're seeing here in the bottom is my Unreal shot, and the top is the final. But this was before we even had a script. And this is, I think, is the power of Unreal for me as a tool. It's a tool of discovery. I just kind of grabbed some marketplace assets. I used some of my stuff from Ruin, and I just made this shot. And I thought, this is the way we're going to start the movie. And so to be able to go to the studio and say, hey, look, here's not this idea. Here's a visual idea that actually looks pretty damn good, and just get people excited about it, And so we did that. Of course, we did with Halon and all of our previous guys, the same guys from Mouse Guard, actually, and a lot of the same guys. Unreal really became kind of a previs tool and a production tool for us. A good tool for to figure out the technical aspects of the movie.
Talking about that, it's such a complex movie. The world building and designing shots that have to work with a physical location is really important. How does Unreal Engine help on that?
Yeah, so as you can see here, there's the traditional kind of set design stuff instead of our entire art team basically got into Unreal. And so I would, late at night, I would build stuff and say something like this, we'd learn stuff together. But there's one scenario that for me was so valuable, and it was this case of, here's a set that we went to. It was on the side of a mountain. It's incredibly difficult to get to. It's 5 hours out of my day to go to this place, but we have decisions to make. Where do we put the cameras? Where do we build the sets? And so this is around the time that you implemented the point cloud system inside Unreal. And so we were out there on set one day. I had my Eric, my supervisor, go out, take his little tiny DJI drone, and he just scanned the whole environment. And then within a couple hours, when we got back to the office, we had a point cloud of the set inside the engine where I could fly around, I could find my shots. And as you can see how close, we actually get. And this is a huge win for, I'm sure very much like game design. You make your movie in prep, in planning. Where do you put the crane? Where do you hide all the IR cameras? And so to be able to have this simple little tool, which seems so simple here, it was incredibly valuable for me, where I could actually see the environment.
Because it looks so close to the actual real environment. It's great for all the different departments that you work with.
Fantastic.
Back when I was making Matrix, everything was flat shaded, gray shaded, wireframe.
And I preferred the point cloud thing over the traditional kind of meshing thing, because that one that takes forever, it never quite matches. But here with this point cloud thing, I could see where basically the leaves were and all that kind of stuff. And I could go even further fidelity, but we used it all throughout the movie, and I'll be using it again, of course, on whatever comes next.
But it worked. The movie, you really, really believe in the design of the shots in the world. Okay, well, what's next for you?
Yeah, we're continuing to work on cool stuff, of course, and of course, the engine will be a part of that, experience. But right now, the biggest thing that is really taking up our time is this fantasy movie based on, it's a little game, a series of games.
It's called, indie little game.
Yeah, called Legend of Zelda. So, yeah, that's taking up our time, and it's going to be fantastic. But that dream, whether it's Zelda or whatever whatever else we're working on, that dream of doing Final Pixel all Unreal is still alive and well. So we'll see what happens.
It's interesting you mentioned Final Pixel, as our next guest knows a little something about that, and taking UE projects and making them something that can actually render the final pixels for your content. So let me introduce the co-founder of Blur Studios, the director of the first Deadpool, the creator of Love, Death, and Robots, and the upcoming Prime anthology, Secret Level. Please welcome to the stage our friend Tim Miller.
Yeah.
Hey, Tim. How's it going, man?
Hey, dude.
All right, Tim.
I swear this is not going to take long. I'm not going to go back and relive my childhood.
I know.
I swear. I know it's almost over.
We're almost over. So you two know each other, yeah?
Yeah.
Yes, I've tried to hire Wes about
We've known each
12
other for
times.
over 10 years. Like, it was ruined because I have looked up to Tim since I was,
That just
kid.
makes me
I
sound
know. I'm
old,
sorry.
man.
I'm sorry.
Come on.
But you were always been doing some just incredibly inspiring stuff, and so I remember coming to you and saying, "Hey, here's my short room. Can I make one of your things?" You said no. Actually, you said I had to start from the bottom and work way up. Cool.
Yeah.
And that's when I went after did the
I hate these guys. They're like, no, I want to direct. And I'm like, yeah, sure you do, kid.
So Tim, just for those that don't know you or Blur, tell us a little bit about the studio.
Let's not talk about Tim. Let's talk about Blur, because Blur is awesome. It was a simple dream. You want to do creatively interesting projects as an artist, and I thought that unless I started my own studio, unless I had the freedom to make really stupid financial decisions, I would not be able to follow my creative dreams. And I always wanted the choice to say, look, we can pay everybody, but we're not going to make any money, but this is fucking cool. It's worth it. And to do that, I needed that freedom, and so Blur was born. And it's a terrible short-term strategy, let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen. But it's an excellent long-term one.
Honestly, I think you did a lot of game cinematic trailers. I think you inspired a lot of our gaming industry as well as the movie industry as to what's possible and also set the look for the future of games. Many games now look like the cinematic stuff that you made all them years ago.
I know. I hated it when we would do cinematic stuff and the game community would go, fuck you, you're cheating us. That's not what the game looks like. But now
things are different.
It looks like that.
So you just announced Secret Level at Gamescom, and fans of all the games that are featured there are super excited to see the series come to the streaming screen. Do you want to tell us a little bit how that came about?
It's a pretty fucking simple idea, really. It was just like, hey, let's do Love, Death, and Robots with video games. And luckily, we had almost 30 years in the industry, and we'd built up a lot of trust through collaboration with publishers and game developers. They knew that we wouldn't screw up their IP. They knew that we would take their input and care about the experience for the gamers, as well as what we were doing and the pre-rendered stuff. So we had this trust. So when we went to people and said, hey, this IP that you've spent millions of dollars building up, we're just going to borrow it and drive it around the block a little bit and tell some new stories with your characters in your worlds. And luckily, people trusted us to do that.
Excellent stuff.
So, related to that, people may have noticed in the trailer, there's an epic OG game in there, Unreal Tournament. And we've worked really closely together. In fact, the story goes back a long time, like 10 years ago when I started working at Epic.
When I tried to hire Kim.
No, we didn't. I really felt that to sort of kick off this transmedia transition for the industry, the best studio to work with would be this company that works with games companies and works with film companies. So I went to Blur, and I tried to persuade Tim into using the engine. And obviously, it didn't happen then, but the seed was planted, and this was an opportunity to work together, learn something from Blur that everybody in this audience benefits from.
Yeah.
The animation tools, the lighting tools, they're all getting better because of this partnership that we've had. But it was good fun for your artists. Took a little while for everybody to get into it, but I think the results are great.
I mean, look, I think it's the right time because what you're getting in real time is as good as anything we can do, and of course, some aspects of the process are so much more enjoyable because the artists were fucking giddy running around the studio because they're not waiting 2 hours a frame. They're waiting, 20. You get 24 a second or 30.
The thing I love about it, because we do all our cinematic content at Epic in the engine, is that it's sort of immersion in the content. Because you can fly anywhere, you can change the lights, you can pose the characters, you feel like you're inside it, just like live action.
That was my experience. Like, it felt like live action because on set, we'll kind of go to a location, and then we'll kind of move the camera over here and find something that we never even thought of before when you're planning it. And so that chance to be spontaneous is like, you're always looking for happy accidents to make something feel real.
I know it sounds all crunchy granola, but there's this thing called flow that people talk about,
sure.
and it allows you to stay in the flow. You don't have to go get a coffee while you wait for a render.
Hey, I don't think the audience wants to hear us just chat forever.
Yes,
so
they do.
We should probably
Yes,
show
they
them
do.
something. Tim, do you want to explain what they're about to see?
Okay, so Kim told you, he did, I said, hey, you want to be in secret level? And Kim said, yes, but only, motherfucker, if you do Unreal Tournament, and Blur has to do it. You have to do it at your place, and you have to build an Unreal pipeline, to which I said, great, because I've been waiting for a reason to do it. And Epic said, we won't let you fail, which is a beautiful thing. So, and they didn't. They were incredibly supportive. The artists had such a great time. So we did a great Unreal Tournament. I'm so proud of the whole series, but Unreal Tournament in particular. And we decided that just for Unreal Fest, we would like to do something just for the Unreal fans. So in our homage to Unreal Tournament, we build the opening fly-in to Leandrew Stadium, as it was in the game, but just a little better. And then, so Wes told me I got to say this. So what you're about to see is all in Unreal, Final Pixel.
Amazing.
All done in a very short time with a very small but very focused and crack
great
Navy
team.
SEALs
That's
of
so awesome,
production.
so dedicated. Okay, let's roll it.
In 2291, in an attempt to control violence among deep space miners, the New Earth government legalized no-holds-barred fighting. Leandrew Mining Corporation, working with the NEG, established a series of leagues and bloody public exhibitions. The fight's popularity grew with their brutality. Soon, Leandrew discovered that the public matches were the most profitable enterprise. The Professional League was formed. A cabal of the most violent and skilled warriors in known space selected to fight in a grand tournament.
It's time. This world has waited for your arrival. It is you. You will open the door. Because you are the chosen. All those moments. It's a new adventure. Just for you.
Come in. You have a game to play.
Wow, that was awesome.
Oh, and the team that made that is going to be doing a little demo on the floor at 2:30.
That's right. Yeah, they're all here
You should go see
at
it.
Unreal
All
Fest.
in engine. It's absolutely amazing.
Crazy. So when can the audience see the actual show?
Oh, December 10th.
Okay,
Make an
awesome.
appointment. Set
I
your clocks.
can't wait. I can't wait.
Cancel
Oh,
date night.
Okay, well, thanks so much, Wes and Tim. It's been great to have you both here. I'm sure the audience enjoyed that little sneak peek.
Thank you,
I think it's
Epic,
now
for
time to move
making
on
these
a li-
incredible tools for us to use.
Thank
and I'm
you.
not just saying that because they paid me to come here.
And honestly,
I mean
thank-
it.
Yes.
Thanks to everybody, because the whole community contributes to making them things better. So
Great stuff.
we're very
Thank
happy.
you.
Okay,
Thank you,
Dana,
everybody.
you can wrap the show.
Well, you know, if the secret level animated series doesn't give you all the nostalgic feels, I don't know what will. We just want to say thank you so much for kicking off the show with us. And a big thanks to everyone who made this possible, especially our diamond sponsor, AWS, our platinum sponsors, Nintendo, AMD, Rive, Sony. We appreciate all of you tuning in online and would love to see you at one of our Fest events around the world. But before you go, I am thrilled to share some exciting news that we are shaking up the Fest schedule. Our flagship event is moving up, and we will be back with Unreal Fest Orlando next June. So mark your calendars for June 2nd to 5th, 2025. We hope, thanks. It's going to be a blast. We hope you make the most of the next few days and leave inspired. For all of you here in the room, there's so much for you to take in over the next 3 days, including over 160 sessions. We're live streaming dozens of talks, and most of the sessions are being recorded for posting on the Epic developer community and on YouTube. Be sure to explore the expo while you're here. You'll find hands-on demos, lots of tools in action, and an amazing interactive experience reference at Weta FX. Got to see that. And you can visit the Unreal Underground, where you can grab a cold beer, check out the party wagon, play arcade games, snap some selfies at the photo booth, and we'll see you at tonight's networking reception and tomorrow's Unreal Fest party at the legendary Mopop Museum. Buses leave at 6:45 from the convention center. We also encourage you to download the mobile app for the daily schedules. Thanks again, everyone. Enjoy the rest of Fest.